Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Friday, January 28th, 2022. Before I even get started with this video blog, I just want to relay to all of you how troubled I am that the Fed failed to raise rates on Wednesday. I've been explaining this to all of you for days. I said I needed to sit back and ponder this. Let's talk about what's going on here. You and I both clearly understood that by the Federal Reserve not raising rates, that this market would fall. In my view, this was a no-brainer. And, well, that's exactly what has been going on here. This market really wanted the Fed to act. And in my opinion, what we've seen in this market since the Fed's failure to act is a no confidence vote. Now, being that the Federal Reserve clearly realized that by not raising rates, this market would fall, that raises a whole lot of questions. Again, there is no way on the earth or off the earth that the Federal Reserve did not know that if they were not to raise rates, that this market would fall. There's no way they didn't know that. I have explained this to you for weeks prior to the Federal Reserve's monetary policy announcement. I said if the Fed fails to act or did not raise rates, the market would fall. And look, the Federal Reserve, they're on top of it. If I knew it, if you knew it, believe me, they knew it too. So as I just said, this raises a whole bunch of questions in my view. And I would have to say it's just part of the Federal Reserve's final solution to cause inflation to continue to rise, to pressure the middle class, to force the middle class into extinction. Let's talk about some economic news that we got this morning. So month over month, this is the news this morning, month over month, prices in aggregate continue to rise. Personal spending is falling. Personal income rises less than expected here. Real wages, in other words, yes, okay, so people are earning more money, although less than expected. But if you take that and weigh it against the current out of control inflation, people are getting destroyed by design. None of this is by accident. You all know that. But where's the uproar? Where is the revolt? Where is the anger with people? They're being distracted by all kinds of other things. Oh, focus on COVID, or focus on this other dog shit thing. Meanwhile, they're being eliminated. They're being exterminated. I'm talking about the middle class. The people in the lower rung, they're done already. So they don't even matter. I mean, as part of the human race, of course they matter. But I'm talking about in this kind of context. The people who are in the lower rung, they're already done. All right. The middle class is being squeezed every single day, and with no end in sight here. You think this news that we got today, is this a surprise to you? No. I've been explaining to you this phenomenon is going to continue. It's not going to stop. There's no end in sight with prices going out of control. The people that are well off and rich, yeah, sure, they maybe feel a little bit of a pinch, but nothing like the middle class, the backbone of the world, essentially. They're being exterminated, and they're sitting back and doing nothing about it. But they're being misled on an epic scale. It's literally the boiling frog syndrome. And I don't know, I hate to see this, because you and I, again, realized from years, and I mean years ago, I've been out here for 13 years? And I think the narrative, I've been explaining to people since that time that we are moving into a feudal system, a two-tier society with an elimination of the middle class. And it's just so in our face. And I don't think it's too late for people to do anything at this point. The Federal Reserve, who is the most hideous, corrupt, disgusting, vomitous institution on the face of the earth, has their full control right now. They have become the government, and they control the flow of information being propagated by the propaganda ministry. The lies that we're booming. We're booming. Really, our economy is booming. That's the narrative. But meanwhile, prices continue to skyrocket. Personal spending is falling. Personal income rises less than expected here. Real wages are cratering. Manufacturing, debts, deficits. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, but meanwhile, they want you to believe how great we're doing. Only in an upside-down, twisted world could anyone convince you of something like that. But I know if you follow this blog, you're a lot smarter than they think you are. I happen to know you're very, very smart. Anyway, with regard to the market, this is where we are. Stock futures are slightly lower this morning. They were down hard earlier, but we've recovered here. The drivers of the market look intact to me. I mean, we watched the dollar yesterday make a pretty big jump higher, and as a driver, the relative strength of the dollar, that was troubling to me, but it has come down a little bit. The MMRI is still in that low moderate risk zone. The 10-year yield 1.82. The yield curve is looking okay. Crude oil, WTI, as a driver of the market, is now over $88 a barrel, and it's going so much higher, people. Look, I want you to be ready, as I've said, for what's coming. What's coming here is a much bigger surge in inflation. And this is by design. Again, think about what I'm going to tell you here. The Federal Reserve is in the process of buying assets with cash that they just make out of thin air. Okay, they've been doing this since the last meltdown here, which has flooded the world with trillions and trillions and trillions of extra dollars here, just to maintain the illusion that we are in some kind of wherever we're at here. The Federal Reserve is simply fulfilling their end game, to become the lender and buyer of last resort, to own the world, to literally own the world. They have one product, that is, they create debt. They're allowed to do this. Again, our president, our retard president, wants to put executive action towards curtailing or regulating cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, no president, not this one, not Trump, not Obama, would point their finger at the Federal Reserve and say, they're the cause. They're the root cause for the dollar that's been in free fall for decades, which has accelerated exponentially as of late here, henceforth why you're seeing inflation continue to surge out of control. No president will allow you to know the truth that the Federal Reserve is running the entire show, and they are on a mission to destroy the United States of America. Here, these presidents, some of them, they want you to believe they love America. Oh yeah. Meanwhile, they're allowing a single entity, a private entity, the Federal Reserve, to rule the country, to control the flow of money. If they control the flow of cash and the issuance of debt, well, they're in full control of everything, and nothing else matters here. Okay? With the Federal Reserve maintaining control as they have right now, and with no leader, we will never have a leader. Okay, I know a lot of you believed it was going to be Trump, who would do something about the Fed. We're absolutely done. All President Trump did was allow the Fed to continue to create cash out of thin air, buy assets just like Biden. They're the same. There's no difference here between these two people with regard to their Federal Reserve, their stance on the Federal Reserve. Each of these presidents, Obama included, the last three, has called on the Federal Reserve to issue more debt than has ever been issued in history. These three presidents have out-borrowed and outspent every single president in history before them, by exponents combined. It's unbelievable. But oh yeah, they really care about us, don't they? I hope you people are waking up to what's happening around you, what's happening to you. You're being destroyed. Our economy is being wiped out by design here. So central banks, none more so than the Federal Reserve, can rule, can have absolute rulership. They are the feudal overlords. And our economy, people, is just done. And just to go back to the beginning of this video, I am so troubled, really. I couldn't sleep last night thinking about it, that the Fed failed to act. They knew that by not raising rates, the market would fall. I mean, it was a no-brainer to me. It was a no-brainer to you. If the Fed had raised rates, this market would be off to the races. So again, this raises a whole lot of questions. But the drivers of the market remain stable for now. And look, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, what has this market done? It looks to me still like we are in a normal corrective phase. There is no crash. It doesn't look like that to me. Right now, I don't see anything. There's no red flags here in the debt market. And the debt market is the driver. You all know that. This is the one element that all those so-called market experts out here have been missing for years, calling for a crash month after month after month. Oh yeah, people like Kawasaki or whatever the freak his name is, he's going to be right at one point because he keeps calling for a crash every single month. People like Blow Ponies, he's another one. They will get it right at one point, because if you say the same thing over and over again every single month, at one point you're going to get it right. I mean, duh. And I guess they're going to take credit for calling the crash that they've done year after year, month after month after freaking month. And they've kept all their people on the wrong side of this market. And anyway, that's a shame to me. It really is, because people are hurting enough. They're hurting enough. And then you got freaks like that causing people to suffer even more. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like any of it. Anyway, so in summary here, people, more bad economic news with inflation surging out of control. No end in sight. Real wages, could not be cratering faster than they are now, along with our economy that is in free fall. The dog shit lies of yesterday about GDP. Oh yeah, the market is higher. We're rallying. Remember yesterday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was higher by over 600 points. And the narrative from the mainstream media was, oh yeah, stocks are rallying because of this great economic news. Not only did we reverse that, we finished in the negative, and you got nothing. Silence, okay? Because they can't allow you to know the truth. We are caught up in an environment of lies on such a scale that it's hard for me to get my head around too. There's no truth here at all anymore. And that should tell you something. It really should. All right, people, look, I'm going to end this video before it gets too long. Love all you. Please ponder the things I said here. I will see you at the end of the day.